There we go. We're back again for another episode of Friday Night Counter Attack. And as Arif described, this is an emergency
Yes!
podcast. It's an
Come
emergency podcast.
on!
We're actually back. We're actually back for this episode because look at what's
Today's a
happened in
good
the world
day.
of football.
God is great. There's just too much to get through, my Hamza. To be honest with you, I don't know where you're going to start, but that's why you're the host.
That's why I'm the host. But I want to start with something very special from the world of football. The fact that as Manchester United fans, Ed Woodward has resigned as the
Big news.
Good news. I'm really happy to see that. And I'm really happy that Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw were the two to stand up to him from the team. Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford playing their part on social media. But that was from the Manchester United point of view. The fact that we've seen leaders stand up from every single club, left, right and centre. And Saf, I just need to shout out the Chelsea fans as well outside of the ground, actually giving it to Petr Cech, a club legend, and saying, we don't care about your words. We want it to be done over and done with. And we're actually doing this podcast during the Chelsea game where it's 0-0. And we've just found out as well that Chelsea are one of the first teams to actually withdraw from the inauguration of the European Super League. So, Saf, let's hear your first thoughts on that. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling over the moon, to be honest. And like you mentioned, the fans coming out in front of the club and literally terrorizing the club legend, Petr Cech, and saying, you know, we don't want to listen to anything from you. We want from higher up. Because at the end of the day, it's always the higher up people that are making these decisions. It's not the players. It's not like the middlemen. It's always the higher up tier. And obviously now that they've come out in numbers as well. It's not just like, a couple of hundred people. It's like, I think it was like 2,000-3,000 people that come out.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And they've blocked the entrance of the gate, saying we're not letting the coach through. And Petr Cech was like, you need to move out the way to let the coach through. And they were delaying it. And then somehow they got in. They let the coach through. But
I didn't catch it. Was this the fans?
This was the fans, yeah.
Fans.
All the fans were like taking on the police. They're taking on the Chelsea bus, and they were making sure they couldn't get into the ground until they actually did something about the European Super League. And massive respect out to all the Chelsea fans.
You love to see it. I just, sorry to interrupt you, sir. I just want to say one thing. I just love this tribalism. I love
this football family. I love this football family so damn much, man. I love every single person from this family. Everyone.
This is such a bad thing that's happening, but the good that is coming from it, I've not seen anything like that in my lifetime. Maybe, past things that have happened in football, but this is just so incredible to see as a football fan. Honestly, it's something else, man. I can get emotional over this, man. I've seen it all over social media, seeing what happened at the Chelsea ground today. They've living damn coach through. When have you seen that happen? Do you know what I mean? So it's incredible, man.
They carried out a couple of interviews before, and one of the guys said that I've been coming here from the age of 3. My parents have been bringing me here since the age of 3. I've been a season ticket holder for 17 years. I've never missed a home game for 10 years straight. He goes, I don't care whatever happens. I don't care if it's Chelsea club. It's the people. It's the higher up people that have made this decision, and they need to overturn it. And we are not going to stop until. When he was saying these words, it was like goosebumps, man. It was goosebumps, and
it was literally like some Optimus Prime speech from Transformers. You're just getting you gas no matter who you were. And I'm not a Chelsea fan. Arif and I know we hate Chelsea, like we hate Chelsea forever. But we love this from Chelsea fans. We love this from the passion of the bread and butter football fans that we've seen over the years go to games, have it through their generations of fans, and it's amazing to see. But this is what I want to shout out now about the Liverpool fans as well. Starting it all off yesterday at Ellen Road as well. Not just Liverpool fans.
Everyone was a Leeds fan last night. I mean, as bad as it's to say, even Man United fans were Leeds fan yesterday. And I mean, they got a draw. It was that tribalism, everyone coming together. It's special to see, man. It's honestly, I've actually really enjoyed, as opposed to being absolutely depressed about things that are going on. I've really enjoyed the part of everyone coming together.
And it's one of those things that I just wish we could actually appreciate this moment for us. And I want to see a lot more going forward. I told Saf just before the recording, the next 2 people I want to see speak out is Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. I've been discussing it with one of my friends. Get the 2 big guns of world football to talk about it. They were in the European Super League.
Pinnacle, they're top.
And we've seen, like, for me, I've got to shout out Jordan Henderson as well, man. I love the guy. He's got a meeting tomorrow, as the day of speaking is Tuesday, but Wednesday is the meeting with all the captains for the Premier League as well, to make sure that he's got them all on board. And it's just something that you want to see in a leader, and it's just something that I'm really passionate about, to see how we can get this, just get it out of our picture, get it out of our lives forever.
Massive respect to him anyway. Massive respect to him, because like, I mean, he's the first captain to come out and say, you know what, I need to call this meeting in, and he's called everyone. So
yeah, I think a lot of it has been happening behind closed doors. Especially, I think there's been reports where Manchester United, Luke Shaw, and including Harry Maguire, the captain of Manchester United, apparently they confronted Ed Woodward straight away. So I think a lot of it has been happening closed doors, but it's just starting to come out now. We're seeing some of these players like Jordan Henderson coming out and saying, "Look, we need to stop this."
Yeah, just to quote Jordan Henderson, what he said on his social media. He said, "We don't like it and we don't want it to happen. This is our collective position. Our commitment to this football club and its supporters is absolute and unconditional. You'll never walk alone." The fact that we've had football people around the world looking at this, you've had people like Bastian Schweinsteiger, Mesut Ozil, other legends like Luis Figo talking about it. Jose Mourinho was apparently sacked for footballing reasons, but there are people that are speculating that he left because of the European Super League. He did not want to be the manager of European Super League.
Yeah, sorry, I'm cutting you off there, Hamz. I'm sorry.
Go for it. Sorry.
But if it was footballing reasons, are you really going to be stacking him before a cup final? Like, why would you be stacking your manager? It makes no sort of footballing sense. There's got to be some sort of thing attached to in terms of the Super League, definitely.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how Spurs actually do with Ryan Mason as their interim coach against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. One of the few managers who have beaten Pep Guardiola's Manchester City is Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspurs. So I don't see how Daniel Levy's worked that one out. But now I want to see some movement from Arsenal. I want to see Arsenal kind of get their fans together and get rid of Stan Kroenke from their side. I want to see that happen from their side. I want to see the passion from the Arsenal fans going forward. I believe Saf told me just before recording, Barcelona are on their way out as well. So hopefully this is something that they can get out as soon as possible as well. But
I think Atletico Madrid as well.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid. And it's just you want to get rid of these American owners from our football clubs as well. Ed Woodward resigning. You want to see the John Henry and his team leave Liverpool Football Club. We've seen it before in Liverpool as well, when they had previous American owners, and they were run out of town by Liverpool fans. And to be fair, no one runs out owners like Liverpool football fans. And if there is a march on Saturday for Manchester United for the anti-Glazers, we need to be there. We need to be.
These Scousers are crazy. These Scousers are crazy. Like Gary Neville said, I mean, their trouble is sometimes it feels like you need a passport to get into Liverpool. They're on a different level. So you know, if anyone's going to run out the owners of their football club, it's going to be the Scousers.
Yeah, I mean, who have we got left? We've got Inter Milan, we've got AC Milan. Haven't heard much from them personally at this time, but like for me, it's about. There we go. Breaking news. Oh my god.
What is it?
Manchester City have withdrawn from the European Super League as we speak. Oh wow.
That was well, fair play to Manchester City. Look, the big boys are all coming out. I think. Look, what teams are left in it now? Really, if we're talking about the big boys, it's Man United and Liverpool now out of the big boys that are left in it. So, I mean, no one really cares about Arsenal and Spurs, right? So it's only Man United.
They didn't deserve to be there in the first place. When was the last time you saw Arsenal and Spurs win a European championship?
But are we going to give our views on the Super League?
Let's go for our views on the Super League. Staff, let's start with you. What were your initial thoughts? Because our group chat was like the Wild West. It was ridiculous how you got like the tumbleweed just going through. It was just empty. We couldn't speak. We were all in shock. Five of us were fasting as well. But Staff, let's hear your initial thoughts on the Super League.
The Super League itself for football is a cancer. It's a cancer for football. It would have destroyed every single. It would have. You know, when Jose Mourinho spoke about football heritage, this is what it is. So when you make a movement like this, I'm gonna pick out a certain name as well. When you make a movement like this, you're not just destroying, normal people's lives from, people look forward to watching football every Saturday, Sunday, or a weekday. They look forward to this stuff, but you're not just destroying like lives of the people that are watching it now. It's from the start of the time, like from the start of football. Now, Manchester United, they've got, incredible history. Manchester City just started. Chelsea's recently just started. But then you got Liverpool, who's got a massive history. When you take out, clubs like that into a different league, such as a Super League, which is, in personal views, is a bullshit league, yeah? You're going to destroy, the actual roots of football. Now, the one person I'm blaming who keeps coming back over and over again is Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid guy, whatever he is, yeah.
The Thanos of football, basically. The guy who just wants to snap his fingers and ruin football just like that.
Literally. So
I would get Joel Glazer in there as well. He's got his name all over these documents as well. So I'll definitely put them both together.
They're all on people's different websites and everything. They're on Liverpool's websites, Man City's websites, everywhere. Ridiculous. Sorry, Saf, carry on.
They were making their own pyramid scheme inside the Super League, but literally they know it come crashing down faster than it built. Perez was the main head. Then it was the Glazers, and there was another
Kroenke, the Arsenal one.
Yeah.
And Henry from Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Juventus one. We just throw all the names in there.
Yeah. So these guys were all coming together, and Perez was their main head. Now, Perez, he has been terrorizing clubs in Spain since the start of since he's been there. So he's been on Barca's back from day one. He's hated Barcelona. He's hated Atletico Madrid. He's run so many different, regimes against these clubs. Yeah. Now he's decided to pull these clubs out. And what his view was, we have 400 million people tune in to watch Barcelona versus Spain, and we can do that every single game when say Manchester United plays Real Madrid, we can definitely turn them numbers over again.
You won't.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Not under our watch.
It's not a natural rivalry, first of all. And secondly, when you're taking, when you say, we're going to take a club out of this country and a club out of that country and play them in a different country, it's not going to happen. It's never going to work. He has been the main spearhead of this problem. Me personally, what I would do now, obviously, slowly, the cards are falling. The lower deck is going. So Chelsea made the move. Manchester City, as you just mentioned, has made the move. Soon follow, it will be Liverpool, the bigger clubs, Manchester United. Once again, don't care about Tottenham or Arsenal. They were just,
they were just hanging on to the coattails of the rest of the teams.
Yeah. Once this layer's gone, I'm paying massive respects to PSG, Borussia Dortmund, and Bayern Munich, who said from the start, no, they were the real members of this, and they get massive credit. But once everyone is out, what should happen is the UEFA should stand against this and go straight for Perez and literally
pound him out.
Not even pound him, bro. He needs to be criminalized, bro, for what he was trying to do. He's literally trying to make a regime that's going to destroy something that was.
Let's get it clear. These men responsible should never be involved in football again.
They shouldn't be.
They should never be. 100%. They should not be involved in any sort of sporting activity, sporting event ever again. They should be. I don't think they should, be criminalized because, criminalized. You've got to be. It's a gray area. I don't think they've done anything that is criminal in terms of government law, right? But in terms of football and sporting law, absolutely. I think they should never be allowed near a sporting event ever again. And I don't think we should ever see their faces ever again. I don't want to see their faces every single time I see, especially Perez's face. I mean, I've got sick of Glazer's face. Obviously, I've been seeing that for the past 20 years, right? But Perez's face, I don't want to ever see them again.
No, 100%. And it's just something that, for me, what really sickened me is when they referred to me, to you, to Saf, to the rest of the guys, to everyone else in football as legacy fans. That made me feel sick to my core. I was disgusted by that. The fact that they were calling us legacy fans because they want to bring a brand new audience, like Saf was saying earlier, about how They want to bring fans from global audiences and make it like a heavyweight boxing fight every single day of the week, every week coming forward. And you're seeing it, and you're paying for another subscription. You're looking at your teams that are 30, 40 miles away from you, 300 miles away from you, 3,000 miles away from you, 30,000 miles away from you, just to suit other random football fans around the world. Graham Souness made a really good point before I let you interrupt.
Yeah.
He made a really good point tonight. He said some of these Chelsea fans have been coming since God knows when, just like Zaf was saying, and this could have been their seat, this could have been their granddad's seat, their grandfather's seat, their father's seat. It's a generational thing when you actually watch football and you follow the football throughout your family as well. This is something that, again, goes to my core and goes to every single person's core in football. Go ahead, Arif.
Hamza, just as you just said, these people do not care about football. We need to get this absolutely clear to anyone who still doesn't understand the game.
They want to make it the Netflix of football, basically.
They want to close this shop. It's just them. Because if you look at what's happening in football right now, it's not just the big boys. There are some, let's say, small teams starting to come up, right? Starting to take this place. If you look at the Premier League right now, you've got West Ham breaking into the top 4. This is literally so that the founding members are safe every single year. It makes me sick. Are safe every single year. That pocket, that how do I say, that stash of money is there available for them every year. They never have to worry about getting out the Champions League. But what is sport without competition? There is no sport. There is nothing. Even when we play at goals, that 5-a-side, 6-a-side football, without competition, there's nothing. Even myself, if there's no competition, I don't feel like playing. So how do you think at the highest level of this sport, right? The highest level of this sport, if there's no competition, the footballers, the fans, are these guys absolutely mind-numbed? Has the money just got to their heads that much that they cannot even see what they were trying to do? Did they think that this was going to be okay? Did they think the players were going to turn up and start playing because you're giving them water cash? The fans were going to be happy with it? Like, I want to get into Perez's head. I want to get into Glazer's head. I want to get into all these guys' heads that thought that this was going to be okay, to understand. Did you think that this was going to work? Do you think, everyone was going to roll over and be like, okay, man, this is a great idea. 60, 70 years of history just gone like that. Champions League nights just gone like that. My first Champions League game at Old Trafford was one of the best days of my life. When that Champions League anthem came on, it was against Basel. It was one of the best days of my life. When that sound came on, honestly, it's unbelievable. And the past 2 days, I've been depressed, literally depressed. I mean, I don't like using that word, but it's the thought of those Champions League nights, that level of competition, the fact you could, you're playing Real Madrid every 3, maybe 4, maybe not even 5 years, but when you do get to play them, it's an immense occasion. The thought and the idea of that going for me was, I just couldn't believe it. And, based on the news that are coming out, hopefully it's looking like it's not going to go. But this was literally a war on football. There's no exaggeration. It was a war on football. And I feel like we're winning right now.
It was a genocide on football. That's how I see it. It was 100%. Genocide on football. And it was something that I mentioned to you lot yesterday. It feels like an episode of Black Mirror. It feels like we're sleeping and it's a dream that we can't get out of. It's something that I'm looking forward to kind of just moving on from this completely. I want to be looking back at this in August, September, and looking at this video of us three and thinking, oh yeah, they overacted a little bit because football's back to normal now. The season started again, and we can have a laugh and a joke at all of us celebrating Manchester City withdrawing whilst we were live. But it's just one of those things. It's not there yet. We want to get it done. And just like you said about going to your Champions League game, one of my favourite nights of being a Manchester United fan was going to watch Manchester United versus Olympiacos. And we won 3-0. We came back from a 2-0 deficit away in Greece, and we won the game 3-0 at Old Trafford. And it was an amazing experience. One of my worst nights as a Manchester United fan was going to watch Sevilla with my sister. We lost 2-1 on the night. We were knocked out of the Champions League, humiliated. But Sevilla, their fans were celebrating all the way home back to Spain. They were celebrating on the plane back. They're allowed to do that. That is what fans are there for from Sevilla. They are there to take on the big boys. They're there to get through to the next round of the Champions League. They're there to compete with us. If there's no competition, like you've said, and like Gary Neville said, and everyone has said, what is the point of football? There is no point of football. There is no point of actually playing this game of football that we all love, we all adore, against just the big boys. It's going to be an exhibition tournament around the world where apparently we have to rest our players on the weekends in the Premier League or in the domestic league so we can focus on the Super League. I'm glad this isn't happening. I'm glad that people are looking at this in the same way. Football fans around the world are looking at this in the same way. And it's the fact that people in this country are looking at this united. We are united. There's no hidden agendas between anyone. We are literally supporting each and every single person. Like we've supported Henderson, we've supported Manchester City, Manchester United, the Chelsea fans outside the ground as well, the Leeds fans yesterday as well. This is fantastic that we are seeing. And I would not want to be a part of any other sport besides football if there's only one sport to be back in this situation. That's how I see it. Saf, I just want to know, did you hear about Brendan Rodgers earlier today when he was saying it? Did you see that quote he put on?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
I saw his interview today, but you're gonna have to just jog my memory. I mean, I've had a lot of information today, so
There's
you
so
know,
much
just have to jog my memory.
Nah, let me talk about this one. This is Brendan Rodgers talking around 3-4 o'clock today. He was like, my job when I came into Leicester City was to disrupt the market. I wanted to know what defined the top six, and clearly it's money. We all know it's money. What we have all to do is to protect the game. It's about competing, progressing on merit. And that's just like I said about Sevilla, the fact that they beat us on merit in that game. Leicester City are third in the league on merit. West Ham are fourth in the league on merit at the moment. And we need to see this continue forever. I don't want to see any stupid kind of closed market football competitions ever like this. Pre-season maybe.
It's meaningless. It's not.
It's meaningless. But the fact that the Champions League is there to stay, and we get to face different teams every year, we get to see different competitions every year. We're in the Europa League this year as Man United fans. Yeah. Chelsea for Saf. Obviously, you're going to joke about Saf being a plastic fan, Arif. We know that already. But they're in the semi-final at the moment against Real Madrid next week, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday. Imagine if they were to be kicked out of that and they'd be playing Real Madrid 2-3 times in the next season in the Super League. Once at home, once away, and once in some random stadium in Qatar or Uzbekistan or Russia or Baku when some of your players can't even go as well. Like Mkhitaryan can go to Baku that time as well. But it's just one of those things that I wanted to see just come to an end, and hopefully we're at the beginning of this end. But Saf, sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, it's mad because I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to take these two teams and play them in a foreign country? And there's literally not even enough people to fill the seats. Like, it's not going to bring viewers. Perez was saying, oh, the younger generation is finding football games is too long and don't want to watch it. So
I saw that. Oh, my God.
I was thinking, this geezer needs to put some cold water onto his head, yeah? And, maybe take a sip of, some cognac or something, yeah? And,
something stronger. Something definitely stronger than cognac.
Wake up, man. Psychiatric. Wake up and smell the coffee or something, because it's not making no sense. But the root of this league is pure greed. As Pep Guardiola said earlier on today, that you have in this league, you've got competition, so there's a benchmark of quality that you need to be in this league. Now, if you take away...
There is no better quality than the Champions League. There's nothing beyond it. In terms of football, there's nothing out there.
So if you take away, say, relegation and promotion, and you've just got a league of teams that, whether you win or lose the league, you're still getting paid 300 million euros at the end of the season. It don't make sense. There's no competition there. Players' quality will drop because they know that we don't need to prove anything. Like, we don't have anything to fight for.
So the thing is, can I just say, I've got no problem or issue at all with people lining up their pockets. I've got no issue at all people making more and more and more and more money. But it must not come at the cost of competition and the footballing pyramid we've been built. I'm going to say we, because I've spent plenty of money in football, like you guys have, like other fans have. We've built. It must not come at the cost of that. If it comes at the cost of that, it cannot happen. The line must be drawn.
And I'm going to go back to Brendan Rodgers and Leicester City about this as well, because their chairman, I forgot how to pronounce his name, Kunvichai. I'm not going to pronounce his surname because that's a disrespect. I don't want to get it wrong. But Kunvichai, when he came through with Leicester City, they were in the Championship, if we all remember at the time, and they got promoted. And he was a very wealthy businessman from Thailand, and he was coming up with the ambition of getting into the Champions League. And he was a promoted team, and he was saying we're going to get to the Champions League in 3-4 years. They wanted to disrupt the order of football in this country. Everyone laughed at them. Leicester City fans laughed at him as well. They survived relegation that first season. The second season, they did the most amazing thing we've ever seen in English football, bar none. Bar none, they won the league. When everyone else couldn't be bothered to win the league, they won the league and they got Champions League football the year after. And he proved us all wrong because that man was a dreamer. He dreamed for the city of Leicester. He dreamed for that team. And the team believed in Claudio Ranieri. And they got to the Champions League quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid.
Unbelievable. Only in football.
How dare Florentino Perez try and rip dreams from the teams like Leicester City, from the teams like Granada, who were in the first European competition this year in the Europa League. And their players got to come to Manchester United this time around. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's literally what dreams are made of. Literally
the Super League model. You don't get that kind of stuff happening in the NBA. You don't get that kind of stuff happening in you got the NBA, and you've got the American football, NFL. You don't get that kind of stuff happening. It doesn't happen. You will never get something like the Leicester story happen in those kind of models. And they're telling us that this is what football needs. This is the best thing for football. Are you taking the piss?
The closest thing they could put it to is probably the Toronto Raptors winning the NBA title a couple of years ago. But they were in the league from the beginning. They were in there for a long period of time. It wasn't Leicester City getting promoted, surviving relegation, winning the league.
They didn't have the rebuilding job that Leicester had. They didn't have that kind of rebuild. Nowhere near.
They didn't have the quality.
Astronomically apart.
Exactly. Absolutely. I need to take a little breather. Let's take a little breath. We've been talking and ranting a lot. This is different for me, but like I said, I need to be getting this off my chest. I've been typing, so it's got to be done. But yeah, let's round up what we've got so far. Chelsea are looking at withdrawing. Man City have withdrawn. Ed Woodward has resigned. My voice is almost going. I've got my Luke Shaw haircut because of how Luke Shaw stood up to Ed Woodward as well. So I'm really happy about that. Jordan Henderson's got his meeting tomorrow with the rest of the players as well. But how do we see this thing going? Do you reckon we can get this? We need to get more protesting done. Do you reckon we can actually do more?
I think there's still a bit to go. Like Gary Neville said on Sky Sports, Joel Glaze is ruthless. This man does everything that's happening right now. This man will not get cold feet. He's not going to be scared. He's not going to be fearful. He's going to keep going. And I said he needs. I don't want to say he needs to get shot live on record, but it needs to go to that extreme for this man to give up. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I think he's the most ruthless out of all the billionaires out there, and it's going to take something on those kind of measures to make this man stop. So it's still a long way to go, but the news that we've had today is massive. I think it's starting to fall apart. Like Safian said, the foundations are pretty much gone. The foundations are gone. Yeah. It's only the top now that's hanging. So, I mean, let's see what happens. There's still a bit more to go yet, but it's positive right now. We just need to keep going.
There's more positivity coming through in terms of the Manchester City players actually tweeting out their responses. So Emerick Laporte was like, "That was quick, lol," and Raheem Sterling was like, "Okay, bye," and he just waved as well. And it's just the fact that none of the players wanted it. James Milner didn't want it yesterday when he was speaking on behalf of Liverpool Football Club in an unfair way, I have to say. Like when we were watching the Burnley game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had no idea about it. Sky knew more about it than he did. Jurgen Klopp obviously didn't want it from a couple of years ago, and he was still speaking on behalf of himself. And Thomas Tuchel at the moment, again, he kind of knows that Chelsea are going to be out of it as well. But Safian, I just want to hear from you now. What do you reckon we can actually do to prevent this happening in the future? Do you reckon this can come up again anytime soon, or do you reckon there needs to be more fan involvement in actual ownerships in football?
Yeah, so that's right. Sorry, yeah, that's right. It can come about again. If it's happened now, it can come about again in the next 10, 12 years' time, where when someone gets a pump, and they get a few rich owners together, and we need to try and push this idea again. But the way to stop it is the way they've done it in Germany, 50-1 rule. Now they need, Barcelona. The reason why Barcelona's come out of it is, and don't get me wrong, Barcelona is in the worst financial crisis by any club. They are struggling. Because they are.
So are Madrid. Madrid are in pretty a lot of trouble right now.
But the
And
thing
the
is,
Milan teams in terms of looking at a new. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Madrid are safe because they are government backed. Barcelona is people backed. They're backed by the Catalonia people. So what happened was with them that the Catalonia people come together and they did a vote. They said no, we are not going. We're not entering this league. So that's when Bartomeu, before he actually resigned, one day before he resigned, he drafted out the copy and signed it for this to happen. So he already had a presumption of what was going to happen. I was expecting Laporte to, say no, it's not going to happen. But when the fans have gone against it, then he's thought, this is not going to happen because half of the club is run by the fans. So I think to stop this from happening in future, it should have some sort of implement in this country as well, where fans are involved up to a certain point. Obviously, owners will be owners. They will own 50-51% of the clubs. But fans and unions have to be involved for these kind of situations. That's the only way we're going to stop it.
Arif, what do you have to say about that? Do you agree, disagree?
Well, I mean, yeah, I completely disagree. It's the only way. Getting there is going to be very, 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 very difficult. I think that we're looking there at the best case scenario for this to never happen again. I think the best way to do it is there to be proper government regulations, especially when the Saudis tried to take over Newcastle, that was stopped. Apparently, they're not ethical enough to take over the football club for whatever reason. Why can't that be done for the rest of these football clubs? The way the current football clubs with the Super League have operated is beyond unethical. So I think in terms of the most realistic way to stop this is just getting proper government regulation into these football clubs to see exactly what's going on. You had UEFA, I forgot his name, the UEFA president, I forgot his name, but the UEFA president was saying, Ed Woodward was telling him literally a few days before the announcement was made on Super League that, he's happy with all the Champions League format, the new Champions League is completely happy with it. A couple of days later, he's backed out the ECL and there's a Super League happening. How can that happen? How is that happening, right? So
Ceferin, isn't it? Ceferin's his name.
Yeah, Ceferin. Yeah. Ceferin.
Yeah,
it's Ceferin. Yeah. He called them snakes, didn't he? Things like that can't be happening. I think the best way for things like that not to happen is proper government regulations in there, government getting involved to, properly charter these football clubs to see exactly what's going on in these football clubs.
Just put so much red tape around them that they can't move at all. Just make it short, make it certain.
Exactly.
It's just like, for me, like the last couple of days have just been emotionally draining. For you lot, it's probably been emotionally draining, and for normal football fans around the world, it's been emotionally draining. But Arif, let's hear your thoughts on how you've kind of reacted to the whole news over the last couple of days.
So, there's quite a bit I want to say on this.
As much as
I got told that I need to detach myself from the world, basically by a Chelsea fan, right? I'll say by a Chelsea fan who doesn't understand football, who's never even been to a game, by the way. He's a good friend of mine, but I'll say that he's never been to a game. He doesn't understand football. He doesn't love this game. For me, I've loved football since a kid. It was the first sport that I fell in love with. And then obviously I fell in love with Manchester United because they were winning, right? But then you just begin to fall in love with your football club. Football, the game of football, watching football has helped me through a lot. It's helped me through a lot. One of the biggest things that helped me through, my dad passed away in January. It was the only thing I could look forward to, right? Only thing I could look forward to. 1 second.
Take your time.
So 1 second. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. So yeah, it was the only thing I could look forward to. Literally the only thing. Getting me through it whilst my dad's health was deteriorating, to eventually when he passed away. It was the only thing I could look forward to. And when this was happening, I was just thinking, this game is getting taken away from us. I'm not exaggerating, not being dramatic. Every fan that truly understands football, truly loves this game, understands that the game was being taken away from us. These moments, the special moments we've had, these Champions League nights, the competition all the way throughout the years, that was getting taken away from us. And that is why I've been so passionate. I've been so down on this topic over the past few days, just praying, literally praying for this not to happen. So that's been my standpoint, the way I've been feeling over the past few days. And, you know, thank God right now, it seems as though, as I said earlier, that we're going in the right direction for this not to happen. And we need to make sure this never happens again.
100%. Beautifully said as well, Arif. Beautifully said. Saf, do you have any closing words before I give my little closing speech as well? Go for it. Sorry to interrupt before you go. Spurs have actually updated their security outside of the Tottenham Hotspur ground ahead of their game tomorrow versus Southampton. So Daniel Levy is scared in his little office at White Hart Lane. So,
mate, he's shitting bricks.
If you
people want their heads. There's people who are literally, if they had the opportunity, would probably take their heads off.
Tottenham is a worse area to be in London than Chelsea is. So good luck, Daniel Levy, tomorrow. You will definitely need it. But no, Saf, sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, Jose Mourinho sent his boys around.
Vish is probably going to be there tomorrow supporting the gang. You know
that's his father-in-law. That's his father-in-law.
But in regards to the Super League, obviously, you guys are probably more passionate about football than me, but I love the mechanics of the sport itself. So I don't look at just one thing. I look at everything inside the sport, whether it's, you know, a major team or a small team, a super manager in a small team or a decent manager in a big team. I look at everything in different ways. So in terms of passion, you guys are more passionate than me, but I strongly have a deep passion for the sport itself, and I play it regularly as well when I get the chance. But I mean, you know, when you look forward to watching games, you know, you don't want to. Me personally, I had a gut feeling that this Super League was never going to go ahead anyway. But when I started seeing, you know, clubs coming together, 12 super clubs have come together to make a decision, I was thinking, oh, okay, might have a chance. They might have a chance to pull it off. But then when the team started dropping, then slowly now, hopefully over the next few days, the others start dropping as well. But overall, I was thinking to myself, it's not going to be the same if the clubs went away. So why is this person? And then I dug into the history of this Florentino Perez, and I was looking deep into his history, and he has been a tyrant. He's literally been a tyrant. He's got major links with the Spanish government. He's got major links in the football world. He's got major links with other governments, which you might not even think of. Now, he can make decisions and make things happen. This is why he was promising the players that when UEFA said that they are going to ban the players from playing international football for their countries, then Perez turns around and says, I can promise you this will not happen. He's not talking lightheartedly. He's talking with full heart. He knows that he's got the right people in the right places to guarantee the players these kind of things. This is why he wanted it so bad. Now, moving off that, I'm happy for it to be back, and I'm just waiting for something to fold over the next few days, and hopefully the next person is targeted is Perez. If not, I'll target it myself.
Yeah, because Agnelli from Juventus resigned as well, and he was another one of the top linchpins of this whole UEFA European Super League as well. And that was it, really. I'm glad you touched on how much you love the sport, because in my little, like I said, I've written my feelings down over the last few days instead of just ranting out, because of being fasting, you don't want to say anything bad whilst you're fasting to anyone in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I thought a lot of bad things, I'll tell you that. God forgive me. God forgive me
as well. But yeah, Saf will know how much of a passionate football man I am. Arif will know I work for a football club. I've got this football podcast with 5 amazing people that I've grown to know through the game of football, and it wouldn't have happened without the game of football. So just to end it off, I'm just going to give this little kind of little speech that I thought I'd give. So it's just the fact that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The fact that Florentino Perez and the rest of these 11 teams at the time of speaking were in the European Super League. And I have 4 loves in my life. So it's Islam, my religion, my family, friends, Manchester United and sport. And Manchester United is one of them. They taught me true love. They taught me to support your team through thick and thin, to learn what it's like to be a part of different eras and different rebuilds, to be a part of a family that can appreciate last minute winners so consistently, to never give up, to show your determination, your strength on that pitch, wearing that badge with pride, honor, and integrity. Since 2013, I've been going to games frequently with my hard-earned money through various jobs, through good times and through bad times. I've been in a fortunate position to go consistently with various family members, various friends. Some I've had the pleasure to take to their first games, and seeing their expressions on their faces walking up the terraces and seeing the wow factor in their faces for the first time ever. Manchester United were there for me when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was elated, excited, going through sadness, through depression, and through heartbreak as well. This week, Manchester United broke my heart. They broke my heart on Sunday when I heard that on Monday. I didn't want anything to do with Manchester United. I was thinking about what team should I support now if I can't support Manchester United Football Club, because I don't want to be anything a part of that as well. It broke my spirit. It made me feel hollow, made me feel worthless as a football fan. Like I mentioned earlier, it felt like a long dream, like we have in Ramadan when we're sleeping a lot. We get a lot of deep sleep very, very easily in Ramadan. It felt like an episode of Black Mirror that we were all just in part of some kind of ruse at the time. But the Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, under Sir Matt Busby, would never have done this at all. They've never done this because as football people, they appreciate that the fans are everything about this team. And teams win and lose all the time. They win and lose all the time, and it's part of football and it's part of sport. And I've been a part of crowds where we've lost to Sevilla, we've lost to West Brom, lost to Arsenal, losing to underdogs and seeing how the plucky smaller team prevails at Old Trafford. Yes, I did involve Arsenal because Arsenal have been an underdog the last 10 years or so. But I've been a part of amazing victories as well against the likes of Swansea. We got to lift the Premier League trophy. We got to see Olympiacos, a 3-0 hat-trick with Robin Van Persie. And we've seen the likes of Manchester United beating Chelsea. We've seen them beating Manchester City. And it's been absolutely amazing. But it doesn't matter if we weren't playing the biggest teams. We still enjoy tough wins and comebacks, which is what Manchester United has been built on. And this is where I get a bit more passionate about European nights at Old Trafford, because they're a sacred feeling, just like Arif said earlier as well. Because in an away leg in 1958, Manchester United players actually died when they were coming back from Munich from a European Cup game away. Coming back from a game to commit their upcoming league game. Because if you've seen that film about the Manchester United Busby Babes, I recommend everyone does, because you get a great understanding, and every true Manchester United fan will know about the Busby Babes in 1958. There is a clock on the east stand of Old Trafford to commemorate them, and this new league is the highest dishonourable factor imaginable. It's the highest dishonourable thing you could do to get this. And like I said previously, it's a football genocide. No one can convince me otherwise. To see these two teams called elite clubs break away in this American-style format, no relegation, no accountability, no soul for the beautiful game, and just no compromise at all, no surrender at all. But yeah, it would literally have been genocide for millions of football fans around the world, almost billions, I would say, dare I say billions. But I could go on and on and on.
No, you're right. There's over 2 billion football fans.
2 billion football fans as well. But that beautiful game is tarnished right now. The noise won't stop. It will never stop. Never, ever stop. Our little podcast will say as much as we want. Bigger podcasts will say it. Bigger football shows, bigger football personalities, pundits, whoever. They've all come in together. We've done our part. I'm proud of us three for doing this and for putting this on. So, Saf, thank you very much. One last thing I do have to say is I know football fans won't be sharing this with everyone. But like I said before, the football players of this world need to speak out about this, and it can't be left to the likes of Henderson, Rashford, Maguire, Shaw. We want to see the biggest names possible. I know it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic said recently as well that they can have their Super League, but we're still going to want to play for our countries as well. But it's just like I said, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was to do this publicly, like Pep Guardiola has done, like Rodgers has done, like Dean Smith has done for Aston Villa as well, Tuchel and Klopp, I'd be ever so proud of him to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do that as a Manchester United manager, to show some pride and determination and backing of the fans, of us. The reason that we love him so much is because he has done something as a player that will be in the history of Manchester United forever. If he does this for Manchester United as a manager, he'll be in the manager's history forever as well, and we will adore him forever. But I had so much.
When is he due to speak?
He's due to speak on Friday or Thursday, because we have a game on the weekend as well, coming forward as well against Leeds. I think we're playing away on Sunday as well. But yeah, it's just like I said, there's so much that I wanted to say. I'm not going to say most of this because I know we've got to go and my voice is getting dry as well. But any last comments before we wrap it up, Arif or Saf?
No, I'm just going to be praying over the next few days. That's going to be on the top of my list of prayers. People might call me stupid, or an idiot, but it's going to be on the top of my list of prayers for this to get stopped and stop very quickly.
Saf, any last thoughts?
Rant over.
Rant over. Ah, man. And this is coming from the one that doesn't rant at all on Friday Night Counter Attack. So I've had a nice little time. This is what happens when you rant during Ramadan. It just goes a bit wayward, but I needed to get it out. But Arif, Safian, thank you very much as always. Thank you everyone for listening as always. We'll probably put this clip on YouTube as a full, because this has been a tremendous conversation. And Arif, I applaud you for getting us to actually come on and talk about it like this, as opposed to just on our WhatsApp. But yeah, take care everyone. Enjoy your Ramadan. See you all soon. Take care.